All right, and let's roll on down to Alabama. And 34% of the vote in Alabama is going to former Vice President Joe Biden. 62% of the vote is going to President Donald Trump. 3% of the vote is going to Joe Jorgensen, and that is Alabama's 9 electoral votes going to President Donald Trump.
And AC Alaska, we have 40% of the vote going to Joe Biden, 51% of the vote to Donald Trump, 6% of the vote to Joe Jorgensen, and 3% of the vote to Howie Hawkins. That means Alaska's 3 electoral college votes are going to Donald Trump.
And in Arizona, 46% of the vote is going to former Vice President Joe Biden, 49% is going to President Donald Trump, 4% to Joe Jorgensen, and 1% to Howie Hawkins. Arizona's 11 electoral votes that are going to closely to President Donald Trump.
And in Arkansas, we have 36% of the vote going to Joe Biden, 61% of the vote going to Donald Trump, 3% of the vote going to Joe Jorgensen, 1% of the vote going to Howie Hawkins, and 1% of the vote going to Don Blankenship. That means that Arkansas's 6 electoral college votes are going to Donald Trump.
And in California, 67% of the vote is going to former Vice President Joe Biden, 28% of the vote is going to President Donald Trump, 3% of the vote to Joe Jorgensen, 2% to Howie Hawkins, and that is California's whopping 55 electoral votes going to former Vice President Joe Biden.
And now let's take a trip to the Rocky Mountains of Colorado, where 50% of the vote is going to Joe Biden, 43% of the vote to Donald Trump, 5% of the vote to Joe Jorgensen, 1% of the vote to Howie Hawkins, and 1% of the vote to Don Blankenship. That means that Colorado's 9 electoral college votes are going to Joe Biden.
And if you're interested in Ivy League schools and maybe becoming a lawyer, you might want to stroll on down to Connecticut, where 55% of the vote is going to former Vice President Joe Biden, 41% is going to Donald Trump, 3% to Joe Jorgensen, 1% to Howie Hawkins, and that is Connecticut's 7 electoral votes that are going to former Vice President Joe Biden.
And Delaware was the first state, and let's see what they have to say now. 53% of the vote is going to Joe Biden, 42% of the vote going to Donald Trump, 3% of the vote going to Joe Jorgensen, and 1% of the vote going to Howie Hawkins. Delaware's 3 electoral college votes are going to Joe Biden.
And in the Sunshine State, where you just can't get enough of the beach, 45% of the vote is going to former Vice President Joe Biden, 48% of the vote is going to President Donald Trump, 4% is going to Joe Jorgensen, 3% to Howie Hawkins, and that is Florida's 29 electoral votes that are going closely to President Donald Trump.
And Georgia's on our mind, but what presidential candidates on their mind? 48% of their vote is going to Joe Biden, 49% of their vote is going to Donald Trump, 2% of their vote is going to Joe Jorgensen, and 1% of their vote is going to Howie Hawkins. That means that Georgia's 16 electoral college votes are going to Donald Trump.
Let's take a look at that progress map and kind of see where we are. Wow, it is dead even after the first 10 states, and 56 electoral votes are decided by 3% or less. So every vote counts. It is so important for everybody to get out there and vote.
America's Mock Election is a nonprofit organization which every 2 and 4 years through our national election cycles empowers students through civic education across the schools in our country to learn about the candidates and their issues. It culminates with a major vote that is calculated and then reported election night style on our America's Mock Election television program, which can be seen from mobile devices, computers, broadcast, and so on. Please support us and see what you can do to help us offset these costs, which are very substantial, in order to conduct a professional and collaborative mock election with our partners. Thank you.